Okay, so here we have a baby grand piano lid. It's a lid that's been, or a piano that's been in the same position in this house for years and years. Actually, it's gone from a house and it's gone to Exeter Cathedral. But let me show you what's happened. The sun bleaching effect has done. This lid has been in this position for years and years. If I open it up, you can see the original finish. And clearly, where the sun has bleached and deteriorated the finish to the original finish here, which is almost like new. So what we're going to do is attempt to show you how Gilboy's Gold can revive this sun-bleached finish that we have here. It's not going to be a miracle polish and make it dramatically into a French polished brand new finish, but for a fraction of the cost of what you pay a French polisher to restore this finish, Gilboy's Gold range of waxes will go in some way to reviving and preserving this really tired finish that we have here. So here's a polishing kit box which is available online. It has our 3 polishes in it. It has the antique gold, the pure, and the rose gold. Little box of sweet pea seeds, which comes with every purchase. Underneath we have another box, and in this box we have the wire wool and the buffing cloth. This is everything we need to carry out this sort of restoration process on this finish. So what we're going to do is going to start with the rose gold. It's got a slight mahogany colour. This is a mahogany piano top. I'm just going to pop open that. Get some of the fine wire wool. Just going to tear it with my hands. It's incredibly soft, this wire wool. I'll tell you what I'm going to do first. I'm just going to, so you can see where I've been, I'm going to if I can get it to peel back. Oh, maybe not. Let's forget that for a minute. Let's go with it. Let's start. I'm just going to charge the rose gold, wire wool with the rose gold, onto the surface, directly straight onto this surface here. Look at that, my able assistant has got the nasty tape. Right, let's go down there. Okay, brilliant. So I'm being quite generous applying the rose gold to the surface here. This is going to start putting the colour back in to this sun-bleached finish. That rough noise you can hear is not the wire wool, it's the texture of the surface of the piano lid. It is so badly damaged by the sun, it's roughened the surface. So there. Now, I'd leave that for 20 minutes, half an hour, depending on the conditions. Let that wax dry, and then we're going to go over again, probably with the rose gold. If not, we might go over with the antique gold, but I'm just going to leave that to dry. We'll come back to that in about 20 minutes. Right, so here we are. We've waited half an hour. We've applied the rose gold to this area here. And I'm just going to buff it. I'm not going to be too fussy about the buffing because we're going to apply more wax to it. I've applied quite a lot, but you should see an instant, well, you certainly see a shine straight away. Look at that. That's an immediate shine. It's wonderful, isn't it? Look at that. So I'm just taking off any excess wax because I put quite a lot on there. Ooh. Okay. So that's one application of rose gold. All right, Reg? Right, with the same piece of wire wool, just turn it inside out. I'm going to apply some antique gold. Antique gold's quite dark, well, darker than the rose gold. It's got more of an oak finish colour to it. And I'm going to dab this over the surface. Reg is going to talk to us all the way through. He wants a part. Right. Right, okay. And just wipe off any excess that we had there. And again, we're going to leave this for another half an hour, maybe an hour, and then repeat it a number of times. Each time we apply the wax, more colour goes in, and it also nourishes this really dry finish that we have here with all that lovely carnauba wax and that beeswax from Buckfast Abbey. So it'll build up, you're building up a wax finish. Okay, so we've applied wax to this. We've applied the rose gold, antique gold, and I've applied another layer of antique gold. Be careful not to over apply, and do this over a period of days. It's by far the best way, doing it over a period of days. It gives time for the wax to dry and gives you the best effect. Anyhow, so I'm just going to buff the antique gold that's on here now. Once you're happy with the amount of colour or the finish you've got, you can always finish off with pure gold, which is clear, completely clear. So you could just have that extra layer of protection again on top of the rose and antique, which applies to anything when you're sort of waxing. If you want to have more wax but no colour, put the pure gold on top. Okay, so there you are. You can see there's a more of a finish. I can even see the difference between here and here. If I do the reveal now, you'll see the effect of just a few coats of our wax, a few applications. Clearly, wow, look at that. You can see the difference. So if you were to carry on applying this over a number of months, slowly the colour would bring down and you'll probably get close to this darker colour. I'm not saying it's going to match it perfectly, but look, there you are, a few applications. That's over a couple of hours of work. Not even of work, it was just leave it for half an hour, 3/4 of an hour, and it comes to that. But I would recommend doing it over maybe a series of days, weeks and months, and you'll build up a lovely finish. So as you apply the wax, you can see this is starting to come up to a shine, but the actual piano itself is actually, the finish here we have here is quite satin and almost matte finish. And if you want to try and match that, instead of using the buffing cloth, you could use a nice clean piece of this soft wire wool and buff the surface with the wire wool. This will make the finish satin rather than a sort of gloss, and dull it down. You're not removing any of the wax, you're just knocking down the edge of that shininess. As you can see there, it's just going to a certain finish, a light bit of pressure, and that will give you a more of a satin finish, more of a matte finish, but still have all the protection there.